there was a fairy rejected and scorned whose anger grew into a storm.
Think you know the age-old story of Sleeping Beauty? Well, think again. You're about to experience poetical theater, where the word meets the pulse meets the music meets the image, and all of it meets the child. This is Sleeping Beauty as you've never seen before. A rhymed verse spin on the classic fairy tale, with live music and mesmerizing projections that create a magical multimedia world in which our beautiful and funky princess is awakened by true love's kiss. Or not. I'm David Gonzalez, and I hope you'll join me for a magical ride. That's Friday, February 23rd and Saturday, February 24th at the Bermuda Festival of the Performing Arts. See you there.
Live from Bermuda Broadcasting, this is ZBM TV9 News.
Good evening, everyone. It's Monday, March the 5th, 2018. I'm Diane Brewer, and thank you for joining us tonight. Well, topping our news, gusts of hurricane force winds are due to hit the island tonight, according to the Bermuda Weather Service. It says winds of up to 86 miles an hour. You heard right. Up to 86 miles an hour will be felt before moving away overnight. But the government says the causeway will remain open with the direction of the wind protecting it from too much disruption. Hal Davis reports.
One victim of the weather, the Shelley Bay Playground, closed to the public after winds and floods rendered it hazardous. The Weather Service says we haven't seen the worst of the winds yet. They predict gusts tonight of 60 to 70 knots at least. That's hurricane strength.
We expect the strongest winds to be from about 11 p.m. tonight into 3 a.m. this morning, and that's when we're really going to have solid storm force winds across the whole area. We're expecting sustained about 45 to 55 knots, and gusts can be up to 70 knots, possibly even 75 knots, if you're under any heavier showers or thunderstorms.
There has been some disruption. Ferry services have been suspended until further notice, while more than 1,000 Belco customers were left without power for part of the weekend. But the government says it expects the causeway will remain open, even as it called on road users to exercise caution.
We would advise anyone that is on the road at any time over the next 24 hours, even going past that, to drive with care and caution. We are used to these sorts of things, and we ask everyone to exercise extreme caution when traveling. Again, the causeway will not be closed, schools will not be closed, and all government offices will remain open.
The causeway is protected from the worst of the wind because of the direction the gales are blowing. It's in the lee of nearby islands. The government stresses that it's keeping an eye on the weather, so it still could close schools, offices, and even the causeway. But the Weather Service says it expects the winds to die down.
We're going to be into a gale warning for most of Tuesday, but winds will continue to decrease, and hopefully later Tuesday afternoon, or definitely by Tuesday evening, we're going to see winds closer to 20 to 30 knots sustained.
The BWS says this is fairly typical weather for this time of year. The real surprise is that we haven't had much worse in January and February. But that's no cause for complacency. March, the service says, can be very changeable, so perhaps it would be wise to expect the unexpected in the coming weeks. Hal Davis, Bermuda Broadcasting News.
So batten down the hatches, everyone. 86 miles an hour is nothing to be messing around with. In other news, government has launched a new initiative in an effort to help 100 jobless people in the community meet with prospective employers. Minister of National Security Wayne Keynes made the announcement today that a jobs fair will take place on March the 26th.
One of the PLP government's main objectives is to reduce unemployment in this country and help people get back to work. The Ministry for National Security and the Department of Workforce Development have teamed up to come up with a plan of action.
100 employers will be connected with 100 unemployed Bermudians. Yes, you heard it. We will find 100 jobs for 100 Bermudians. We aim to connect employers with people seeking employment.
This is a rallying call for 100 local companies of all trades to take part.
We want every employer, if they have a corner store, if they have a grocery store, if they're an exempt company, a law firm, a tiling firm, we want to encourage everyone. They have to be able to see their part in making Bermuda a better place. They're going to have to take somebody that might be broken. We don't expect, and this is not, we're not asking people to hire gang nominals. We're saying that if you give people an opportunity, we're going to see a decrease in people trying to be on social services. We're going to see a decrease in people being involved in gangs. We're going to see a decrease in the people that are involved in antisocial behavior. So let's step back from it for a minute. We're asking our community partners to be a part of the solution in this country.
This initiative is not aimed at any particular age group and is intended to benefit those fallen on hard luck.
On a day-to-day basis, we meet young, middle-aged, and older Bermudians who just want to work. They do not want to be sidelined. They want to be able to take care of their responsibilities. And I think there are employers that that want to employ Bermudians that are well-trained and that can get back in the field. And we're simply going to be the conduit for bringing these people together.
But to be considered for the jobs fair, which takes place on March 26th at the Hamilton Seventh-day Adventist Youth Center, you must first register.
We will be utilizing our database to supply the Ministry of National Security with a listing of persons that have expressed an interest in gaining employment. However, we cannot refer your names unless you come into our department and sign up.
All interested employers are invited to attend a meeting at Police Recreation Club on March 15th, starting at 5:30. For more information, call 294-9283. Jasmine Patterson reporting for Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Okay, take note. This is for you, social media savvy viewers. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter, where we post our top nightly news stories as well as breaking news 24/7. News and video anytime, anywhere. Perfect for liking, sharing, and retweeting. We're on Facebook under Bermuda Broadcasting and on Twitter at ZBM News 9. So get connected and stay connected today. News and more details on the stormy conditions from AccuWeather after the break.
The whole concept came from the collaboration with BF&M and the America's Cup. The Endeavour program is the legacy of the 35th America's Cup that was here in Bermuda in June. And we've continued the charity now operating in Bermuda. And going forward, we thought, what a great opportunity for children on the autism spectrum. And hence we actually developed the No Limits program. They really do benefit from this kind of outdoor experience, this environment. You know, just yesterday going off the east end of Bermuda, I mean, they wouldn't have done that. Not many children in Bermuda have done that. And just them learning to take control of a large bit of transportation that they're doing at that age, and they may never get that opportunity.
That's where you see the biggest progress is whether they were looking at their hand steering, you know, now they're looking forwards and actually looking where they're going because they've realized, oh, I know where my hand is. I can do this without looking at my hand.
We are so grateful for the Endeavour program and what it has done for the students on the autism spectrum.
Welcome back. Well, following a meeting today between representatives of the various container lines and shipping officials, it has been confirmed that the MV Oleander will discharge cargo in dockyard on the week of March the 12th. This follows on from news last week that the Hamilton docks will close during the week of March the 12th through the 16th for much-needed repaving works. Representatives for the three organizations noted that they were pleased with the outcome of a meeting today to agree the logistics for a dockyard discharge. Bermuda Container Line said it is pleased to be able to get a dockyard discharge of cargo in order to top up needed supplies for our customers during the week of the Hamilton dock closure. Warren Jones of Polaris Holding Company Limited expressed that stevedoring services staff have no problem moving to dockyard to discharge the Oleander. Their issue was safety and getting the Hamilton dock repaired. Mr. Jones adds, "We are glad that there has been a win-win solution that we can be a part of," end quote. In other news, the new government has been in power for 8 months, and the Minister for Economic Development and Tourism, Jamal Simmons, in a ministerial statement said new casino gaming regulations will be here soon. Mike Sharp reports.
Casino gaming in Bermuda cannot move forward without the enactment of a proper framework. Under the previous leadership at the Gaming Commission, the process of developing these regulations hit a stumbling block. No more, says Minister Simmons.
Well, we've got a couple of regulations that are in the pipeline to be tabled in short order. I think that we're very pleased to see that we're finally seeing progress in this space, and I think that it bodes well for the future of gaming in Bermuda to have a well-regulated industry.
Some 17, 19 points?
It's a number of them that are being split up in three sections to be tabled over the next couple of months, and we're looking forward to getting this done.
Can you be more specific? What does it encompass, some of the areas?
Well, the thing about the gaming regulations, they set out how a casino operates and the structure in terms of the standards and how they work. So when you look at, for example, the designated site orders that have been issued already, you have to reach a certain criteria to be able to have a proper site for a casino in Bermuda. The regulations now make sure that you are governed correctly in terms of anti-money laundering procedures, security, everything, as I mentioned in the statement, even down to the badges that the people wear and how they're displayed. So it's very comprehensive. It's big work, and I'm very thankful for the Bermuda Casino Gaming Commission and the Attorney General's chambers for cracking on with it and getting this moving.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned that there were several stumbling blocks before. Can you elaborate on a few others that you hope that you can overcome here?
Well, I think under the new leadership of the Gaming Commission, stumbling blocks are no longer an issue.
The Shadow Minister of Economic Development and Regulatory Affairs, Dr. Grant Gibbons, hit back saying the new gaming regulations are long overdue.
I think most of us understand that the regulations, the casino gaming regulations, are critical in terms of moving casino gaming forward in Bermuda. There's one provisional licensee, which is the Hamilton Princess right now, and I know St. Regis and other hotels are quite interested in moving ahead. I think what is my concern was the delay between the time that the new government took over back in July and bringing these regulations to the House. In fact, we don't even have the regulations yet. The gaming can't move forward until these regulations are actually completed, brought to the House, and obviously approved. The concern I have is that those regulations were essentially drafted back in by July of last year under the forming Gaming Commission, and the questions I had were revolved around what was different, what needed to be changed, and I didn't get a satisfactory answer to that. There are quite an extensive list of regulations, and I think the question I had revolved around the fact that we often got prodded by the former opposition, PLP, for moving slowly on the gaming regulations and gaming itself, and yet it's now taken almost 9 months. We still haven't seen the regulations, so my concern was about holding up the casino gaming, holding up the tourism product that obviously is going to be very much part of that.
Minister Simmons would not be drawn into a time frame for the new regulations. I'm Mike Sharp with Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Tributes came from all over today to mark the life of Kim Young, the former UVP politician who died at age 75. Mrs. Young, the spouse of businessman Ward Young, passed away in a hospital in the Bahamas. She suffered a stroke. Mrs. Young was widely known for her role as MP for Paget East from 1997 to 2003 when she retired. She was appointed as a minister without portfolio just months before the United Bermuda Party lost the 1998 general election. Grant Gibbons, who is the current MP for Paget East, today led tributes in the House of Assembly.
I think Kim was someone who could relate to just about anybody, and I think you've seen that in the House today. She was my running mate from about 1997 until 2003 in Paget East, so we worked together in a lot of issues.
Meanwhile, PLP MP Kim Swan, who once worked with Mrs. Young, also offering condolences while remembering her as a caring person.
I knew Kim Young, I always say in another life in politics, but she was a caring person. No doubt associated with the fact that she chose nursing as a profession.
Another person being remembered is legendary golfer and barrier breaker Frankie Rebane, who passed away last week at age 86. He was remembered for inroads in equal representation in golfing. Turning to weather news again, stormy conditions with hurricane-force gusts of possibly up to 86 miles per hour, rain, and even some hail. Here's an update from AccuWeather headquarters.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
The BF&M Insurance Group is pleased to bring you tonight's AccuWeather forecast. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Brittany Boyer, and we have some very strong winds heading over the island late tonight and also as we head into our Tuesday as well. The storm system will be passing off to our north, but it's going to be generating winds, potentially storm force winds. So now is the time. I know it's been pretty windy today, but if you have something outside that can easily blow away, make sure you bring that indoors. We're not just looking at the strong winds, we're also looking at some showers as well as a circulation pushes over the island, and we could even have some roars and rumbles of thunder through late tonight. So I'm going to kind of show you this here. It's going to track this storm system, again, north of the island, but you can just see those winds generating out of the west, and the closer these are together is where we see some strong winds, and that's exactly what's going to be happening here. So pick this apart from the Bermuda Weather Service, all of the watches and warnings that are in place for tonight into tomorrow. There's a lot of them. We have a storm warning through tonight, and that's what we're most concerned about, the strong wind gusts over 60 to 70 knots possible. A thunderstorm advisory this evening, and also tonight a gale warning. Once we head into Tuesday morning, the winds will start to relax, but they're still going to be very gusty out there. And then by the time we head into tomorrow afternoon through Wednesday night, a small craft warning is in place, and it's going to be very dangerous out on the water. I don't recommend anybody being by the water, at least for the next couple of days. So current conditions, this storm to our north is generating some cooler temperatures, which I'm sure you felt today. Temperatures across the island in the 50s right now, and look at the winds out of the west-northwest, 35 to 40 knots. They will be increasing. Waves inside the reef, 4 to 6 feet, but outside, again, very dangerous. Waves outside of the reef between 25 and 35 feet. So your forecast for tonight, temperatures are going to be on the cool side in the mid-50s here. Winds gusting past 50 miles per hour, and we will have showers at times for tonight, perhaps even some rumbles of thunder as well. And then tomorrow, once that storm warning is no longer in place, we could still be looking at some gale force winds here. So winds gusting past 40 miles per hour, partly sunny with a brief shower or two. Your tidal times, you saw all of the watches and warnings that we have in place, but what I'm most concerned about is when the winds will be at their strongest tonight. We're at high tide 1 at 11:11, so we could be looking at storm surge anywhere from 1 to even 2 feet. So some very dangerous conditions setting up here over the next 24 to 48 hours with the strong winds. If you're doing some traveling, this is the getaway forecast. New York City, temperatures in the mid-40s for tomorrow, and some of our islands not quite as windy. Some showers in Barbados and also Trinidad. So batten down the hatches tonight. Winds will start to relax into Tuesday, feeling much better on Wednesday, but then late Thursday into Friday, we're tracking another system with more rain on the way.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
All my life is changing every day, in every possible way. Then I open up and see the person falling here is me. 'Cause you're a dream to me.
Made with care, handled with care, delivered with care. That's what dreams are made of.
Fresh Breath Dental is more than a dental office. It's a community dental office with wheelchair access, scholarship opportunities, community day free extractions, plus savings opportunities with $25 off through BIU and BPSU and referral award, and an $80 teeth cleaning as part of our transitional program. Because we believe when the community benefits, we all benefit, as a healthy mouth is a healthier you. So don't delay. Call 433-6825 or email info@fbdl.bm to schedule your appointment today at Fresh Breath Dental in the Cedar Park Center, Hamilton.
Your home, your life, security. Be fire and burglar free. Right from your phone, monitor, control. Lock safes, doors, gates, business, family safe. You're on the go, and that's okay. BSG with you every
Bermuda Security Group, your security, life safety, and monitoring experts. We're with you every step of the way. Bermuda Security Group, BSG.BM.
Bermuda was front and center for yet another major merger in the insurance sector. This time around, it's French insurer AXA buying out Bermuda-based XL Group. Tony Waterman takes a look at the impetus behind the deal.
Even by conservative standards, this one's a biggie. $15.3 billion, all cash. That's what French insurer AXA is shelling out for XL Group. At a press conference in Paris today, both sides were claiming a synergistic victory, a merger that will bring both scale and greater competitive advantages.
Principally the fact that operating globally is essential, and that's a very expensive infrastructure to maintain. And second, capital is made very dear by Solvency II and other regulatory pushes around the world. If you think about those two things alone, you realize that scale makes a huge difference in competitive position.
The deal will certainly add scale. XL will gain access to a whole new set of customers to sell its specialty products to, especially small brokers in Europe. AXA, meanwhile, will get a major foothold in the U.S. property and casualty market, selling policies for things like fire, theft, and disaster. It's a change of pace for AXA, which mostly trades in life insurance and savings.
We are becoming the number one global player in the P&C commercial lines insurer. So from small enterprises to large multinational businesses.
Besides the obvious, there's something more subtle at play: insurance pricing and financial markets. This deal is a bet that years of soft insurance pricing has come to an end. Hurricanes Harvey, Maria, Irma, and wildfires in California are the main reasons why premiums are back on the rise this year. There's also the financial markets. They've been offering up strong returns for years, but now that interest rates are normalizing, investors, including insurers and reinsurers, could be in for a bumpy ride. This is just the latest sign of consolidation in the market. Earlier this year, it was AIG which announced that it was snapping up Bermuda-based Validus in a deal worth more than $5.5 billion. Japan's SoftBank also looking to get in on the action. It's in talks for a multi-billion-dollar stake in Swiss Re. In the past, consolidation has meant job losses, something XL Group CEO Mike McGavick didn't explicitly rule out.
The actual overlaps are not that large, so the impact on XL's people and on AXA people will be less than it might be ordinarily in such an advanced integration.
KPMG CEO Mike Morrison doesn't think there's much to fear. In a statement to Bermuda Broadcasting, he said AXA would look to grow XL's platforms, and he didn't think the firm would shrink XL in Bermuda. But not everyone thought this was a good deal. AXA shares tanked 10% on the news, investors nervous it overpaid. On the flip side, XL shareholders got their premium up front. The deal is expected to close in the second half of the year. Tony Waterman for Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Turning to sports, Bermuda win back-to-back cricket matches against the Cayman Islands. Weather decided the Grey Goose golf champion after just one round, and there were no changes to the top of the Premier and First Division football standings after matches were played this weekend in tough conditions. Earl Baisden has all those details in tonight's sports report.
Bermuda took on Cayman Islands in a 50-over cricket match reduced to 40 overs due to rain and defeated them by 4 wickets yesterday. Cayman Islands batting first were bowled out for 149 after 37.5 overs. Omar Wills was their top scorer with 42, while Jacoby Robinson was the pick of the Bermuda bowlers with figures of 5 overs, 1 made and 2 for 11. In reply, Bermuda would score 150 for 6 after 24.3 overs. Kamal Levrock was the top scorer with 68 off of 41 deliveries, hitting 8 fours and 3 sixes. Levrock shared a 100-run opening wicket partnership with Taryn Frey, who scored 33. On Saturday, in the final match of the ICC Americas Regional 2020 tournament in Argentina, Bermuda avenged their defeat to Cayman Islands earlier in the tournament, defeating them by 4 wickets with 1 ball to spare. Needing 11 runs off of the final 3 balls, Stephen Bremer hit back-to-back sixes to earn Bermuda the win. Cayman Islands batted first and they would score 134 for 7 in their allotted 20 overs. Raymond Seeley was their top scorer with 26, while C.J. J. Otterbridge was the pick of the Bermuda bowlers with figures of 4 overs, 2 for 19. Gennaro Tucker bowled 4 overs, 2 for 20. In reply, Bermuda would score 136 for 6. Lavrock was again the top scorer with 31, while Bremer scored 26, not out off of 14 deliveries, hitting 1-4 and those 2 sixes. With the win, Bermuda won the group. High winds and heavy rains canceled the second round of the 2018 Grey Goose Golf Tournament at the Turtle Hill Golf Course on Saturday. The cancellation left Australian Daniel Gaunt as the champion after his 2-over-par 56 during the opening round. Bermudian Javon Roberts was declared the men's amateur division champion, while Annie O'Neill was the women's amateur division champion. Alan De Silva was crowned the men's senior division champion. No changes were made to the top of the Premier or First Division standings following weekend action that saw a total of 37 goals scored in challenging conditions. On Saturday at the Garrison Field, league leaders PHC Zebras defeated Crossroads 2-0. The PHC Zebras went in front in the second minute when Idris Sharif found the back of the net. The only goal of the second half came in the 71st minute when Keyshawn Bean scored as the PHC Zebras opened up a 6-point lead over Robin Hood and the Devonshire Cougars. Later on Saturday evening, the Devonshire Cougars would fall off the pace following a 1-1 draw with the Flanagan's Onions. And then yesterday it was Young Men's Social Club 0, North Village Rams 3, Dendy Town Hornets 2, Boulevard Blazers 2, Somerset Trojans 0, Robin Hood 3. With the win, Robin Hood closed the gap on PHC to 3 points. In the First Division, BAA opened up a 4-point lead on the top of the standings following their 7-0 win over Wolves at the BAA field. Marico Iris would score 5 times to lead BAA to victory, with Tyrell Burgess and Marcus Springman both adding a goal each. The lead was opened up to 4 points after second place Paget Lions drew 0-0 with Southampton Rangers on Saturday at the Southampton Oval. Yesterday, St. George's Colts defeated St. David's 9-1, Devonshire Colts defeated Hamilton Parish 3-0, and the Ireland Rangers defeated the Somerset Eagles 2-1. Dante Lavrock and his JK Navra Trans teammates got their Estonia season off to a flying start, picking up a 5-0 win with Lavrock scoring his team's 4th goal. Angus Gilliams from England and Alex Follner from South Africa were crowned the 2018 male and female Bermuda Open squash champions. Gilliams defeated fellow Englishman Adam Morales 3-0, while Follner got past her South African compatriot Milne Lau 3-1. Multiple Carifta Swimming Championship medalist Madeline Moore has lowered the Bermuda record again, this time in the women's 50-meter freestyle. During the A final of the Edinburgh International Great Britain Swimming Championships, Moore clocked the 6th fastest time of 26:26, which broke her previous record of 26:33 she set during the preliminaries. Elon Daly competed in the Ontario Winter Swimming Festival Championships in Canada. Daly competed in 6 events, winning 5, finishing second once, and broke 2 Bermuda records along the way. Daly touched the wall in a time of 2:23:44 on her way to winning the women's 200-meter individual medley gold medal and breaking her own record of 2:23:82 she set back on February 19, 2017 during the Swim Ontario Winter Festival. Daly would finish second while breaking her previous record time of 2:29:82 she set back on June 19, 2016 during the Ontario Summer Festival in the women's 200-meter backstroke when she clocked a time of 2:19:81. Bermuda's Paralympian Jessica Lewis is recovering from an injury she sustained during training. Unfortunately, the people on the track before Lewis and her training partners moved the metal rod on the inside of the track and left it sticking out in lane 1. As Lewis was warming up in a draft formation, they came around the corner and one of Lewis's training partners who was in front was able to swerve, but Lewis did not have time, so she hit the rail and went over on her side and twisted into the next lane. Lewis suffered bruised ribs and other minor cuts, but she is recovering. The 23rd annual Shy Invitational Karate Tournament was held at the Pembroke Sunday School, attracting more competitors than in recent years yesterday. The adult grand champions were Talia Iris and Anthony Leader in both forms and weapons. The junior form grand champions included Trey Simmons in the novice division, Aiden Atherley in the intermediate boys, and Cantero Bean in the weapons. Arima Turner was the novice girls champion and Milan Powell the intermediate girls champion. Justin Donowa and his Dartmouth men's track and field teammates finished fourth at the 2018 Ivy League Heptagonal Championships inside the Levron Fieldhouse. An impressive performance that stunned many in the Ivy League circles, but few at Dartmouth. Junior Donowa was crowned as the conference champion in the men's triple jump.
Philadelphia International Medicine provides international patients with access to a unique network of world-renowned doctors and surgeons that provide personalized medical and surgical care, connecting you to the U.S.'s leading healthcare specialists who are ranked among the best in the world. Healing is possible when you're confident in your healthcare team. To find out more, contact us at physicians@philadelphiamedicine.com or call 1-215-563-4733.
The whole concept came from the collaboration with BF&M and the America's Cup. The Endeavour program is the legacy of the 35th America's Cup that was here in Bermuda in June. And we've continued the charity now operating in Bermuda. And going forward, we thought, what a great opportunity for children on the autism spectrum. And hence we actually developed the No Limits program. They really do benefit from this kind of outdoor experience, this environment. You know, just yesterday going off the east end of Bermuda, I mean, they wouldn't have done that. Not many children in Bermuda have done that. And just them learning to take control of a large bit of transportation that they're doing at that age, and they may never get that opportunity.
That's where you see the biggest progress is whether they were looking at their hand steering, you know, now they're looking forwards and actually looking where they're going because they've realized, oh, I know where my hands is. I can do this without looking at my hands.
We are so grateful for the Endeavour program and what it has done for the students on the autism spectrum.
And that's our newscast for tonight. I'm Diane Brewer. Thank you for sharing your Monday evening with us, everyone. Stay safe out there. Good night.